Welcome students. So let's start today's topic without wasting any time. This topic is capacitor and capacitance. So this is my lecture number 9 and these are the two particular terms that are linked with a device. This capacitor is a device, okay, and this is a storage device first of all, and capacitance is the physical quantity. So that is the basic difference. First of all, capacitor is a storage device which store the charges. It is store charge. And capacitance, that is the physical quantity which is defined as the capacity of this storage device to store the charges. Greater the capacity to store the charge, greater the capacitance. Smaller the capacity to store the charge, smaller the capacitance. So this one is a physical quantity and the representation of this physical quantity is C. This one is a storage device. Now come to this storage device symbolic representation. If we want to represent the electrical symbol of capacitor, so it is represented by the two parallel lines, and sometimes it is represented by a curved line and a straight line. Okay, so these are the two representation of capacitor which represent the two conducting plates here, placed at very small distance. The distance between the two is so much small that the induction method may occur in between the two capacitor plate. Initially these capacitor plates are conductor. So to get the concept of this topic, you need to go through my previous topic that I have explained in my lecture number 8, the properties of conductor and the properties of dielectric. These are very important topic, so it is better for you to subscribe this channel so that you can go through all the previous videos that I have uploaded which are interlinked topic, and then only you can understand the present topic, current topic which I've been explaining here in this class. Okay, so it will be better for you because Gauss theorem and electric field concept and some other quantities, that potential gradient, all these concepts that is used in this that capacitor and capacitance theory. So better to subscribe the channel so that you can use the previous link and you can get connected with all the linked videos. Okay, so here this one is a storage device and this is a symbolic representation. I told it C is the capacitance of this capacitor, and you can see that one plate is positive charge, other plate is negative charge here. So this storage device, dimension of this storage device is approximately, if I am talking about the capacitor that is used in fan, so that is almost the order of 2 to 3 centimeter. Okay, and if I am talking about the dimension of that capacitor which is used in the electronic circuit, then it is corresponding to 1 to 3 millimeter. So you can see here, you can just judge how much small a capacitor is. Now to enhance, to increase the capacity, this capacitance of a capacitor, we can connect them in series and parallel combination, and this is very much related to the series and parallel combination of resistor. So that also we will discuss later. So before this, we have to concentrate over the two topic. Let me clear this topic, that what is capacitor and what is related to the capacitance. So here dimension, as I have told, 2 to 3 centimeter and 1 to 3 millimeter in electronic circuit and 2 to 3 centimeter in electrical circuit like the fan. So before this, I want to explain you the practical application of capacitor, how it is very useful, and fan is the best example for it, because in electronic circuit these are used but you cannot see it practically, but fan you can observe the functioning of fan, you can see the fan, you can do experiment with the functioning of fan. So that is why it will be better for you to understand this concept of capacitor and capacitance via the functioning of fan. As you know that you change the number of fan to speed up the fan by its knob, which is linked with the switch. When you switch on a fan, what happens? That fan starts rotating. Okay, if you change the number of that fan by using knob, by rotating the knob, what happens? When you increase the number, the speed of fan motion increases. So why this is happening? Because of the two reasons. The first reason is what? There is a resistance value in accordance with each and every number that are present in the knob. So if you are applying one number, so maximum resistance is applied over the circuit corresponding to the fan. So that is why corresponding current is least. It is on the basis of Ohm's law. You know I is equal to V by R, and here V is the supply voltage, which is, you know, for the domestic circuit it is 220 volt. So if the resistance is more, corresponding current is less. So that means what? First of all, for one number resistance is maximum, and for 5 or maximum 6 number the resistance value is least. So if resistance is least, the corresponding current is maximum on the basis of Ohm's law, and every electrical circuit obeys the Ohm's law. So that is why here the current, first reason for functioning of fan is the resistance that is applied for each number present in the knob. Okay, and the second reason is that the capacitor which is used in the fan, that is also one major reason to that speed up a fan, because it store the charges and it discharge and it supply the charge value to the electrical appliances. So whenever we speed up a fan, in that condition the due to discharging of capacitor, it gains the speed. Okay, so these are the two reasons which is responsible for the motion of fan, and this you can practically experience. If you switch off the fan, what happens in that case? When you switch off the fan doesn't exactly suddenly stop its speed. It continues moving and till sometimes, and after sometimes it stops moving. So the basic reason behind it is what? That capacitor which is going to discharge even when the switch is off. So capacitor working can be observable, can be experienced when the supply circuit is off. When the electricity is off, then we can observe the functioning of capacitor, how a capacitor is working. Because during the supply, the capacitor gains the charge, and if it supply the charge to appliances during the electricity on, you cannot observe it because it discharge at one side and it gains charge from the other side. So that is why we cannot observe, we cannot experience that discharging and charging of the capacitor. That I will explain the mechanism of capacitor here. So this is a practical application. You can observe it. If you have not experienced earlier, you can observe it after this lecture. Okay, so I hope this capacitor device is clear to you. It is very useful in practical life. Afterward come to capacitance. Capacitance, C, is a physical quantity that indicate the capacity to store the charge. Capacity, obviously capacity of capacitor to store the charge. And the capacitance of earth, that is infinity. Again, this is related to very basic theory of physics. You know that we always do earthing for every high voltage device. Okay, that third knob of the socket that is linked with the earthing, that you read in class 10th. So why we are doing earthing? Because earth capacity is infinity. Earth can store infinite amount of charges, and that charges can be recollect from the earth when it is required. So that is the important property of earth, and which is used in during the earthing time, that capacitance of earth is infinity. Remember this point. So this is again a very useful point to be noted. Now come to the mechanism of capacitor, how a capacitor works, and then we will introduce the law of capacitance. And here mechanism. Okay. So for mechanism we need to draw one capacitor. Again it is represented by two parallel plates which are conducting plate, and in between the plate there is a vacuum, air, or any dielectric. We can fill any dielectric, we can fill air inside it, we can remain it as a vacuum area. So these are the capacitor internal part. And now this terminal is positive charge, this is negative charge. That means what? A source supply is provided to this capacitor. I am drawing here a key, that is the source key K1. And now again I have connected that capacitor with one more device, that is the resistor. This you know, this is the symbol of resistor, and this is key K2. This one is capacitor. So what happens when the positive charge, this terminal is positive charge, so at the external, at the outer side of the first plate, it will be charged with the plus sign. Due to the induction method, the second plate, the second surface of the first plate become the negatively charged body, negative charge surface. Due to induction method, because there is a very small distance, as I told you that the distance, plate distance, the distance between the two plates is very small, the dimension of the capacitor is very small. So that is why induction method that is applicable here, and due to induction method the second plate will become positively charged and the outside portion become negative charge. Here this is the condition. We don't consider the inside charges here. This is the happening, this is the mechanism that is occurring here, but we will not consider the inside charges here. We will consider only the outside charge. You can see here the plus charges here and the minus charge over the surface of plate. Okay, due to the presence of this battery, and we have connected this key K1. So this method is known as charging of capacitor. The capacitor is charged, charging. So this capacitor is charged now. It is full of charges, it is fully loaded, and now every fully loaded thing should be unloaded. Like at this time I want to unload myself. Okay, like in the case of a gun filled with bullet, that should be unloaded. That's just jokes apart. This is not the case here. I just want to connect this physical theory of capacitor with our daily life. So that is why I'm saying all these things. Nothing related so much, but you can understand in this manner only whenever you just empathize anything and you relate anything with yourself, then only you can understand that physical body. So here this is the case of charging, and now what happens that we have now disconnected the source key K1 and we have connected the key K2, which is related to that resistance. This resistance is corresponding to any appliances. You know that every electrical appliance, due to the presence of wire, having some resistance. So this is the resistance of any appliance. So key K2 is connected. Now what will happen, because the capacitor now is fully loaded, so it will provide the charge to the external circuit here, because now the circuit is closed. So it will provide the charge to resistor in accordance with the resistor requirement, in accordance with the resistance value. And now this method is known as discharging of capacitor. Okay, so charging and discharging, these two things are interrelated. If we are talking about capacitor. Okay, so that is overall mechanism of capacitor which we use. Now if you consider the case that both the keys are connected, so it remains discharged with the help of this resistor value, and it gets charged from the source with the help of this battery. So what is happening, we cannot consider that whether the capacitor is going to discharge or not, because at one side it is going to be loaded and at the other side it is going to be unloaded. So both incidents are occurring same time simultaneously. So we cannot judge, we cannot experience the charging and discharging individually. So that should be the case, that we must have to consider that either of the two keys should be not connected, should not be connected. So on the basis of this mechanism, we can define the law of capacitance. Now how will we define? You have seen that potential difference across the capacitor plate, greater the potential difference, greater the charge over the capacitor plate. That means the charging of the capacitor depends on the potential difference across the capacitor plate. So this is known as law of capacitance. Greater the charge is stored in a capacitor, greater the potential, and vice versa. We must have to say in this manner: greater the potential difference across the capacitor plate, then up to the limit of its capacity it can store the charge. Again I am repeating that I am just underline this 2-3 words in my definition, that under the limit of capacity. Okay, every capacitor has certain limit. Okay, so by that limit only, till that limit only it can store the charge. So that limit, we will think about that portion here after this formula. To remove this proportionality, C, we are introducing a physical quantity, that is capacitance C into V. So this is known as the capacitance of capacitor. Now C is equal to Q by V, and this one should be a characteristic property of capacitor. That means it is a constant value. You can see from here only. So that means what? Capacity of capacitor varies from one to other. This one is the formula, and unit, you can identify the unit here, Coulomb per volt, and combine it is called farad. This one is the SI unit. In short, it is written as F. Okay, so farad is the SI unit of capacitance, and you know that we generally don't use farad in practical life. We use microfarad or picofarad for devices. So it means what? We are using a small capacitance value, a small storage of charge. Though we can connect these capacitor in the series combination or parallel combination on the basis of our requirement, how much capacitance we need in a circuit. So that is why these smaller unit can also be very useful. Okay, so that is the importance I was telling, that limit of capacitance. Each and every capacitor has certain capacitance value, and we cannot load a capacitor beyond that limit. So this one is the basic theory, basic concept of capacitance and capacitor. I hope this is very clear to you, and if you have any kind of confusion or any kind of query, you can write down that query in my comment box, and I will definitely give you the solution for that query. Okay. So this is all law of capacitance, which is very useful for solving derivations related to different topic. Now come to the various derivation of capacitor. We will find out the different structure capacitor, and we will derive the capacitance of that capacitor. The first one we are taking the case as that is spherical capacitor. Second case, parallel plate capacitor. Here there are three cases. Under this parallel plate, there may be three cases. One is without dielectric. Then second case with dielectric. of thickness D. Remember this, D, A and Q. These are the certain terms which we have to use. Afterward we will take with dielectric of thickness T, which is lesser than T. Okay, these are the three cases we will solve here under the heading parallel plate capacitor, and next one will be the cylindrical capacitor, and this is practically used. Cylindrical capacitor is used in fan. Whenever you will see this, it is a cylindrical shape capacitor, and that is practically used, commercially used capacitor. But its derivation is not given in your course, so I will not derive this term. Only I will tell you the corresponding formula of cylindrical capacitor, nothing more than that. Okay, so let's start with the first topic. Okay, so let's start our first topic, that is spherical capacitor. We can draw this figure. Marker is not working. This one is one conductor and this one is another conductor. Okay, so you can see these are the two concentric sphere, and this both are conductor, and the inner conductor radius is R1, outer conductor radius is R2. We are taking the case here, and we have supplied positive voltage, positive terminal here to the outer sphere, and so what happens that the outer surface become positive charge. What will happen to the inner surface? Negative charge. So here the first surface is negative, first is outer conductor, inner surface is negatively charged body. Afterward, due to the induction method, what will happen? The same amount of positive charge that will be created over the outer surface of inner sphere, which is a conductor. Okay, and corresponding minus charge will come in the inside portion. We don't need to consider that, and we can do one earthing here, because at least we need two port here, so that is why we did earthing here. So this is overall structure, and you can write down that total charge here. Whatever be the figure, you have to explain that figure in some theory part, like inner conductor radius is R1, outer conductor radius is R2, the net charge over the that spherical capacitor, that is Q. So here we will consider the case that first of all we will find out potential at outer sphere, which is corresponding to the minus charge, and it should be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R2. Because this is negative charge and potential is a scalar quantity, so we need to put the sign here. This is V minus. You can understand it, and this is on the basis of previous topic. Again, I have to say this thing. Subscribe my link, subscribe my channel, so that you can go through the previous topic, because each and every point I have written this thing on the basis of properties of conductor, as well as the potential at any point due to a point charge. Okay, so everything is interrelated in my channel. Minus V minus is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, that minus Q over R2, and V plus, it should be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught plus Q over R2. Okay, there are two things to store any data or store anything into your mind. First thing, that you can learn this step, but it is not a good thing, because +2 syllabus is so vast, you cannot learn everything, and you have to keep everything in mind by practicing more and more. This is only the way you can do in physics. Okay, frankly speaking, if you are doing practice, written practice basically, if you are doing written practice and you are at the time of class, you are understanding the concept of this each and every theory, and you can relate that theory with the practical thing, you will enjoy physics and you will get the concept, and it will be much more better. You can store each and every link, each and every concept in your mind. So V plus V minus, these are the terms which is now we get on the basis of this overall figure. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to find out the net potential at any point in between the capacitor. This one is a point P, and we can find out the potential due to inner sphere and due to outer sphere. So at any point P, we can get the net potential as V plus plus V minus. Because we are using the sign, so we don't need to apply the minus sign here in between the potential values. Now this is equation number 1. You can put the values from equation number 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, and q terms you can take common, and inside the bracket you will get the result as 1 over, this is not R2, this is R1. You can see plus charge is for inner sphere, inner conductor, so inner conductor radius is R1. So 1 over R1 minus of 1 over R2. So this result we get after the previous step. So V net, that should be equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. We'll get the result as R2 minus of R1 over R1 R2. Simple. You have done the mathematical small terms and small steps. Afterward, what we have to do? We have to apply the law of capacitance. I told you the law of capacitance. We can find C. We have to find capacitance of this spherical capacitor. So C is equal to Q divided by V net. That is in accordance with the law of capacitance. Put the value of equation number 3 in this equation. So we'll get Q, and 4 pi epsilon naught in denominator, it will go up. In numerator, this R1, R2 minus R1, that will come in denominator, and R1, R2, that will go in numerator. That will move in numerator. So here C is equal to common term you can neglect. We'll get the result as 4 pi epsilon naught R1 R2 over R2 minus R1. So that is the last result we get after this derivation. So this is overall formula for a spherical conductor. Okay. Now we will take the case here. And that case is isolated spherical conductor. Isolated spherical conductor. Isolated means what? Separated from other body. So in place of two concentric conductor, we have taken only one conducting plate, either R1 or R2. Basically we need to take R1 inner conductor. So what does it mean? That outer conductor is so large that R2 is tending to infinity. That means from this result we can write R2 is very greater than R1. That is only the result. So look at this formula. We need to apply this condition here in this formula. Then we get the result for capacitance for isolated spherical conductor. So C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught R1 R2 as such divided by R2 minus R1. Because R2 is very larger, very greater than R1, so that is why we can neglect R1 as compared to R2, and here we will get only one term R2. So these two terms will be cancelled out and we will get the result C is equal to this much. So that is the last result we get for isolated spherical conductor. So you can go through the formula, no need to learn anything, you have to practice and you have to grasp the basic concept of these capacitor. apply the previous concept and easily you will get the result. That means now you are in the stage of applying your previous concept to the current one. Isn't it fine? Isn't it good that now you are in the somewhat in the stage of somewhat in middle stage, you can say. This is your path of class 12th, 0 to 100. This is your path of class 12. At least by solving these kind of derivation, by getting the concept of chapter number 1, at least you have reached up to this place, the 10% place. Okay, so you have reached till this place. If you have got the concept, each and every concept is clear in your mind, this is your 10% and that percent is the base for next 100%. So remember this thing. Okay, come to the case of parallel plate capacitor. Point number 2, we are going to solve that parallel plate capacitor, first case, easiest case without dielectric. So this one is parallel plate capacitor and this is the side view of parallel plate capacitor. From the side you can see the plate area. Okay, this is plate area A. This one is known as plate distance D. You can note down these steps. Plate distance always represented by D. Plate area represented by A, because in this terminology only you will see the numericals. So you must know these terminology. Plate area, plate distance, and these are the terminal. Charges are represented by Q. This is positive terminal, negative terminal. So first plate is positive charge, second plate is negatively charged. Okay, this is parallel plate capacitor. And without dielectric means in between the plate there is no dielectric. That means we can assume here that it is filled with, the middle of the plate area is filled with air or vacuum. Now you know that these plates are made up of conductor. So we must have to apply the properties of conductor here. We will go through the case. Okay, now first of all our basic step is V, to find the potential difference across the plate or voltage across the plate. So what should be the value of V here? V is equal to the electric field across the plate, applied electric field from the source, that is E applied. There is no dielectric in between the plate, so we don't need to consider this in between middle area of the plate. So E multiplied by D. From where we get this solution? As we know that electric field is equivalent to potential gradient del dot V. I have generally used this term del dot V, and in the easiest form it is written as minus of dV by dx. Okay, so you can use any of the two, because I am telling this one because it will be useful in your next graduation classes. So better to know these terms too. So V is equal to E into D, electric field, applied electric field, into the distance between the plate, because V, that means potential difference, is related to the thickness, that means plate distance. So we need to apply this term, and potential difference is applied across the plate. So V is equal to E into D. Now you know we can get the value of E. We can take any point in between the plate P, and we can get the value of E on the basis of Gauss theorem. Again I have to say one thing, Gauss theorem is the platform, and your train will start, every time your train will start from this platform only. Okay, so remember this thing, if you don't know about Gauss theorem, Gauss law and its application, you can't consider that you can solve these kind of derivation. So it will be better for you to see the previous video that I made for Gauss theorem and its application. Okay, so E into D, from this that means from this situation at point P we can consider the case of E as sigma over epsilon naught. Okay, actually the point आपने Gauss theorem से जो निकाला था result वो ये आया था E is equal to sigma over 2 epsilon naught due to single plate. Here we have two plates and we are considering the point P in between the plates, and we can consider the charges. If you will go through that cases of this plane sheet electric field at any point due to plane sheet, you will see that this result we have got in that case. Okay, so sigma over epsilon naught into D. This is the value of V. We are neglecting here the minus sign. Okay, now if we have calculated V, then we need only to apply the law of capacitance, that on the basis of law of capacitance, C is equal to, that is Q divided by V. Okay, I told you this formula earlier in this lecture only. So apply this value. This is equation number 1. Apply this value. Q divided by V is sigma over epsilon naught, go in numerator, into D. Now put the value of sigma. You know that sigma is surface charge density and its value is Q divided by surface area. As we have taken the area, surface area of plate as A, so we will write here as Q divided by A, and Q will be cancelled out. We will get the result C as epsilon naught A divided by D. This is very simple steps, and these kind of steps only we are following in each and every derivation. You have seen in the first derivation too, we have done the same type of steps. So only you need to apply the last concept here. Okay, this one is the case of parallel plate capacitor without dielectric. So now we will consider the case, the parallel plate capacitor with dielectric. If you want to note down these things, you can pause my video and you can note down these steps. Now we are solving the second case, case B. In the second point only, we are solving the case B. This is parallel plate capacitor and these are the terminal, positive and negative. We will not draw the battery here. Okay, now you will see we can draw a dielectric in between the plate, and the dielectric area is equal to the area of plate, that means plate area, and the dielectric thickness is equal to the plate distance. This is only the condition, that thickness of dielectric is equal to D and area of dielectric that is equal to plate area. Okay, that is only the situation. Then only we can think about this case with dielectric of thickness D. That means the capacitor is completely filled with dielectric, no space for air or vacuum. Okay, now here we need to find out, first of all, the applied field is here from the positive terminal to negative terminal. This is E applied. And now due to the presence of applied field, again we have to go back to the concept of dielectric. So that concept, in accordance with that concept, we know that whenever any dielectric, which is the insulator, basically insulator like mica, heavy water and mercury, we can consider these cases. So if we place any dielectric in the field, what happened? The dielectric gets polarity if it is non-polar, and if it is polar, then also it aligned in the direction, it aligned in such a manner that all the molecules are aligned in such a manner that polarization vector that should be in the direction of applied field. All the polarization vector, or we can say it corresponding to the dipole moment too, the dipole moment of all the molecules should be in the direction of applied field. So this is the effect of applied field. So what will happen here, that each and every molecule you can see here, these molecules are polarized, and because there is a plus charge, so here at the surface point, at the surface area, the polarized molecule will get the negativity, and here in the opposite direction it will get the positivity. So minus plus, here in this manner we will draw the polarity of the dipole, and now this is plus, so in effect of this plus, the other molecule will get the negative polarity here and positive polarity towards other side, so minus plus. So these are the cases. Like we have considered that dielectric, and each dielectric is made up of n number of molecules. So now these molecules, you can see here the dipole moment is from minus charge to plus charge. The dipole moment is aligned in this direction. So this is only the effect of applied field over the dielectric. Now you can see the inner charges here, these charges will nullify the effect of each other. Plus and minus, all the internal charges will nullify the effect of each other, and this internal region of the dielectric become chargeless. There will be no charge in the inside portion of dielectric. This is chargeless. Here sigma is equal to 0, the inside portion of dielectric. Sigma means what? Surface charge density, as sigma is equal to Q by A. So if Q is 0, then sigma is 0. Now the surface charges in the dielectric that are called polarization charge. So these are polarization charge. Why they are defined by this name? Because they create the polarity across the dielectric, and you can see the polarity is from this plus side to minus side. That means the electric field is always from the plus to minus. So inside electric field is from right to left, while the applied field is from left to right. So this is just because of the generation of polarization charges and the inside charge value that become 0 here. Okay, this concept is very useful in the case of dielectric. So we will get the net electric field E net, that should be equal to E applied minus of E in. Every time whenever you will draw the opposite polarity, then also you will see that applied field and in field are opposite in direction. So because electric field is a vector quantity, so you have to write down the values on the basis of direction. So here E applied minus of E in field, because the net result is again an electric field, and you know the formula for electric field due to parallel plate capacitor, that is sigma over epsilon naught. So in place of epsilon naught, we will put the sign here as epsilon, which is the permittivity of medium. And you know that this result we are getting just because of the presence of dielectric. So we have to put the dielectric constant, that permittivity of medium and corresponding dielectric constant. We can write this result in this form also, sigma over K epsilon naught. You know this? K is equal to epsilon over epsilon naught, where K is dielectric constant. Okay, this is different from the Coulomb's law formula that you have introduced K there, that K is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. That was not dielectric constant. This is dielectric constant, which is equal to epsilon over epsilon naught. So this one is the result for E. Now the further steps are very simple. What we have to do? We will get the result for potential difference V net. This should be equal to E net into D. The whole this is on the basis of again potential gradient formula. E is equal to V by D, minus sign we have neglected, and V is equal to E into D. So we have to write down this E net into D, because the dielectric covers the whole distance in between the plates. So that is why the distance corresponding to potential gradient, that should be D. So V net is equal to E value we can apply here, that K epsilon naught into D. Now we have to apply the law of capacitance. C is equal to Q by V net, and V net is here. So we can write down the value sigma K epsilon naught, that will be in numerator now, into D. Now we can put down the value of sigma. So sigma is equal to Q by A, K epsilon naught D. Q and Q will be cancelled out, and you will get the result C is equal to epsilon naught K A divided by D. So this one is the last result for the capacitance of parallel plate capacitor filled with dielectric. So you can see the last result, C is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D, and here the result is what? C is equal to epsilon naught K A divided by D, and K is the multiple here. Only the difference is what? K is the multiple of this value. That means what? The capacitance increases. You know that K is always either greater than or equal to 1. For air, K is equal to 1, dielectric constant. Otherwise, for any other material, if you are using any medium other than air or vacuum, you will get the K result as greater than 1. So because the K value is always greater than 1, then this product, this result will always be greater than the previous result value. That means if we want to increase the capacitance of capacitor, we must have to introduce a dielectric in between the capacitor plate. Then we can enhance, we can increase the capacitance value. So this derivation, I think it is clear to you. You can note down the steps. Now come to third case, that is C case, with dielectric of thickness T which is less than D. So अब हमें क्या करना है, that this plate is positive charge, this plate is negative charge. Now the dielectric is placed with the some thickness T, and here the plate area is D. Plate distance is D and plate area is A, that you know, the basic introductory term. So this is positive terminal, this is negative terminal. And now what we have to do, if we know the last two derivations, we can easily find out this derivation. That means result is simple. Mathematics में कई बार हम कंटूर निकालते थे. So कंटूर में क्या होता है कि अगर हमें फाइंड आउट करना है कि इतने, what is the area of this contour other than this seed area. So what we have to do, first of all we need to calculate the area of the seed and overall area, and then we can subtract the two values and we will get the result of area of contour other than the seeds. Okay, that was the steps that we used in Fourier analysis. That is one part of mathematics in graduation level. So the same steps we are doing. If we want to calculate the potential difference across this plate, what we have to do, first of all, the potential difference for the air part, air or vacuum part. So these are the air part, this is air and this is dielectric. This is dielectric of thickness T. So what we have to do, we need to find out the air potential difference. E air into the thickness corresponding to air part only. So total thickness is, total plate distance is D and minus T. If we subtract T value from D, we will get the thickness corresponding to the air part. So E air into D minus T. Afterward E air, because it is corresponding to air, so formula for E is same, sigma over epsilon naught for air. Okay, permittivity of free space. So multiplied by D minus T. That is the result for V air. Now what is the result for V dielectric? This is with this result, E dielectric, ED into the thickness of dielectric, that is T only. Corresponding to dielectric, we are now counting that potential difference. So this will be the result. Now this should be sigma over epsilon, not epsilon naught, it is epsilon into T. So these are the two equations, and now we can calculate the total potential on the basis of the scalar result. So V net, that should be equal to V air plus V dielectric. Okay, equation number 1 and equation number 2, add these two equations, take the common term, sigma you can take common, and in place of this, here I am doing only the step. You know that epsilon is equal to what? Epsilon naught K. K here is dielectric constant. So we can take out the common term epsilon naught here. Afterward, for this air term D minus T, and for this term plus T by K. Okay, you can see here sigma over epsilon naught we have taken common. So remaining term is what? T by K. So this is V net. And now what we have to do? We have to apply the law of capacitance. So C is equal to Q by V net, and then what we have to do, Q divided by, apply this result, sigma epsilon naught will go in numerator, D minus T plus T by K Okay, now Q epsilon naught divided by sigma, in place of sigma, Q by A, D minus T plus T by K. So Q and Q will be cancelled out and we'll get the result as C is equal to epsilon naught A over D minus T plus T by K. Don't think that this derivation is not in your syllabus, because numerical is given in NCERT. So it is in your syllabus and you have to keep this formula in mind. Okay, now this is the common formula and we can get the last two formula with the help of a specific condition here. If we are applying that T is equal to 0, that case 1, that T is equal to 0 means what? There is no dielectric in between the plates. So result should come as C is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D. And same result we will get. The second term, here it will be 0, this term will be 0, and we will get the result epsilon naught A divided by D. This is the parallel plate capacitor without dielectric, the first case. Now, if we are putting the case as condition as T is equal to D, that means the plate area, that thickness of the plate or plate distance, that is completely filled with dielectric, then T is equal to D, then we will get the second result. If you will place D here, so D minus D will be cancelled by each other, and in place of T we are putting D epsilon naught A divided by D by K. K will go in numerator and we will get the result epsilon naught Ka divided by D. So this was the second case which we have solved earlier. So these are the two cases we can consider, and this is overall capacitor and capacitance topic. Later on, few more topics are there like series and parallel combination of capacitor. That derivation is as simple as you did the derivation of resistor in 10th class. So series combination of capacitor, this should not be equal to the series result of resistance. Remember this thing? You can solve it by your own. I will not tell you this combination of capacitor. I will tell only the formula, that if we are applying each and every capacitor in series combination, so this should be the combination first of all, that positive and negative plate, the next plate of the next capacitor, that should be positive plate should be connected with the negative plate of first, negative plate should be connected with the positive, and so on. So this is called a series combination of capacitor, and we will get the last result of series combination of capacitor equivalent to the result of that resistor which we have solved in the parallel combination. Resistor में parallel combination का result आता है 1 over R is equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. In the similar manner we will get 1 over CS is equal to 1 over C1 plus 1 over C2 and 1 over C3. This kind of result we will get in series combination, just opposite to the case of resistance. And how the parallel combination of capacitor occurs? If the positive plate, how can you identify the parallel combination? Why I am telling in this manner, because the numerical may be asked in this manner only. It is given in some textbook as well as in NCERT. If the positive terminal of the plate is connected with the positive terminal of other plate, then it is called the parallel combination. You can identify only by this manner. Positive terminal of the plate of capacitor should be connected with the positive terminal. This is the parallel combination, and the result of parallel combination will come as equivalent to the series result of resistor. So Cp is equal to C1 plus C2. So this is okay. So this is Cp is equal to C1 plus C2. This result is similar as the result of series combination of resistor. So I don't want to do this derivation here. You can see these derivations which are given in your book, in your textbook, or in your NCERT book, as well as you can see that these kind of result you will get by the same steps that you did in the resistor combination result. But I want to make you clear one thing, that series combination you can identify only by watching, by observing that the minus plate of one capacitor should be connected with the plus plate of other capacitor. This should be required condition for identifying the series combination and parallel combination. In the parallel combination, the positive terminals, positive plates are connected with each other across one terminal. So that is the required thing. And here I want to explain this one, what I am doing here. Here if you will see that directly you can say this is a series combination, but this is not the series combination. How can you identify this? That negative terminal, negative plate is not connected with the positive plate. If the negative plate is not connected with positive plate, this is not the series combination. Only the series, this one is not series combination, this one is a series combination. Here the negative plate is connected with the positive plate of other capacitor. So whenever you will go through the numerical portion, then you will identify why this concept is so much important here. Always remember, the negative plate should be connected with the positive plate to identify the series combination, and negative are connected with each other, as well as positive and positive are connected with each other. That means this is the parallel combination of capacitor. So don't judge any kind of combination by only watching the linear line. This is not the series combination, remember this thing. And this is all in my video. I don't want to make this video so longer because two major important topics are left, that are the energy stored in a capacitor and energy density of capacitor. These are very much linked with the Maxwell equation, which is the last chapter of NCERT textbook. So I don't want to discuss these important topic in hasty. So that will be better for you to make a new video for that two topics which are remaining here. So after that, this is all related to the chapter. And beside this, I hope you will do practice related to the current, that today's topic which I have discussed in my lecture, as well as if you have any kind of query, you can write down in my comment box. And again I'm repeating, you have to subscribe the channel so that you can go through the previous video to get the concept of all previous topic which are used here in this lecture. So that will be much more better for you. So hope for better luck. Thank you and enjoy your day.